Hey there, beautiful lady. Welcome. You are listening to The Stylish CEO, the podcast for female entrepreneurs ready to step into their CEO role and be the face of their brand. I'm your host, Laura Jane, your very own personal stylist and women's empowerment coach. I'm a Nutella and ice cream addict, flamenco dancing Yorkshire lass with over 15 years experience of working in the fashion industry. Each week, we'll be diving into topics that cover style, business, and personal development, as well as guest interviews from leaders within their field who will be sharing their stories and expertise. So go grab yourself your favourite cuppa, sink into your favourite chair, and let's dive into these CEO game-changing conversations. Hey there, beautiful ladies. Welcome to another episode of The Stylish CEO. Today, I am joined by the amazing Alyse Bacine, who is a Philadelphia-based breathworker and psychic healer. In her work with her clients, Alyse uses her psychic abilities to tap into the energy of her clients, see exactly where they're stuck, and then guides them to release it through a simple breathing technique. Alyse is extremely passionate about healing and personal development. Her message is that everyone has something to heal and everyone can heal and create exactly the life they desire. It is Alyse's mission to guide people to healing and living their soul purpose. I'm so excited to share this episode with you because we are going to be talking about subconscious limiting beliefs and how when you're able to access them and transform them, you can really understand yourself in a new way. This helps you be the empowered individual that really connects and creates what your soul desire is on a deeper level. And I was so engrossed with this conversation that I had with Alyse. She is amazing, and I think that you're gonna find this conversation with her really enlightening and really powerful in what she has to say about breath work and the subconscious limited beliefs that we have developed from a very young age without even being aware about it. So make sure you stay tuned for this episode. Before we get started with today's episode, I want to let you know that this episode is sponsored by my Facebook group, The Stylish Entrepreneur Tribe. This is an exclusive community for female entrepreneurs that empowers them to be as stylish as their brands. If you are ready to up-level within your business, start to become more visible by being your true stylish, authentic self through your personal style so that you can start showing your potential clients that you are the expert within your field, attract and become a magnet for your ideal clients, and then transform this into sales, then this group is for you. This community is a free, safe place for female entrepreneurs who are chasing their dreams, are fearless and have a desire to show that they are the experts through transforming their image so that they can represent their true stylish self because they know that their personal style plays an important role within their business because it is an extension of it. If this sounds like you, then head over to the show notes at girlbehindthelook.com/podcast where you will find the link to the Facebook group. Now let's kick off this episode. Hi beautiful ladies, welcome to another episode of The Stylish CEO. Today I'm joined by the beautiful Alyse. Hi Alyse, how are you?
I am great, thank you. Happy to be here.
I'm so excited about this episode of the podcast because I know that what you do is amazing work. When we had our quick chat, I was so excited about what you actually do. So for the ladies that are listening, do you want to explain a bit more about what you do and who you are?
Sure. So I am a breath worker and psychic healer. So what I do is I guide my clients to healing and radical transformation through breath work and my psychic gifts.
Wow, I love that. I think breath work is something that we don't often think about either, and it plays such a vital role in our lives, doesn't it? Because it helps to center us.
Yes, definitely. I think some people don't realize because it's so simple and it's just breathing, which obviously we all know that we're always doing. But I think sometimes it's overlooked at how extremely powerful it is in healing and transformation.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about subconscious limited beliefs, aren't we? So
Yes.
shall we explore that a little bit more? Do you want to tell the listeners exactly what that is? Because some of the listeners might have never heard of it before, or might have a little bit of an idea but don't fully understand it.
Sure. So, subconscious limiting beliefs are basically these decisions that we've made about the world, usually at a young age, right? So, when we're between the ages of 0 to 7 or 0 to 8, that's kind of when we are absorbing everything about the world. So, we're usually watching our parents and watching the environment that is surrounding us and deciding what the world is based on what we're seeing. So an example of this would be, and I always give this example around money because I think it's easy for a lot of people to relate to, but if you are, 2, 3, 4 years old and you witness your parents talking about money, right? And maybe this is something you witness over and over again where they're saying, where are we going to find the money to pay this bill? Or I wish we had more money, or whatever the dialogue is. You're like absorbing this conversation and making decisions about money based on what you're hearing. And these aren't like conscious decisions. Like you're not sitting there in your little 2 or 3 year old body being like, oh, money is hard to come by. But you're kind of absorbing this and then making these decisions that kind of live in your subconscious and are driving the train essentially and driving your decisions that you make later in life. And until you kind of go deep and explore what those subconscious beliefs are that you're carrying around, you will kind of attract in and make decisions in your current life based on those beliefs that you took on in the past.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And I think as well, we don't really understand when we're going through situations in our life, we don't really understand that like part of the reason and the feeling that we're getting behind that is from the limited belief that we kind of formed subconsciously as we've been growing up.
Yes, exactly. And we don't realize until you do the work and can bring those subconscious beliefs into the conscious awareness, then it's really hard to kind of know why you might be not able to get the results that you want to get. Like, for instance, people are like, oh, I'm calling in abundance, or I want to be abundant. And that's great, but you are never going to be able to call in that abundance that you're seeking until you're able to deal with the limiting beliefs that you have in your subconscious around why maybe money is not available to you or whatever it is. And it doesn't just have to be around money. It can be anything. No. Relationships or, money, relationships, career. Those are the big ones. But,
yeah.
It could be around anything.
Yeah, my big one when I was first starting out was judgment of other people. So that's a massive one. Yeah. I was just petrified doing anything. I didn't want to be in front of anybody. And when I really went deep and got that understanding of where it stemmed from, I realized that it was all from when I was at first school and we were doing this, it's like a theatre production, like ending term and that you do for your parents. And for some reason, I don't even know why we were doing it. It was a musical version of Pinocchio, which I didn't even know existed. But I was Jiminy Cricket and my mum had done all the outfit for me. And I remember being literally as clear as mud. I can envision myself being sat on this table cross-legged in this cute little outfit that my mum had made for me. And I had a solo piece, and halfway through the song, I completely forgot my lyrics.
Oh my God.
Obviously had a massive effect on me because I was sat there crying my eyes out. The teacher obviously jumped in to save the day and got the rest of the class to sing. But then I saw the parents laughing at me, which subconsciously I thought they were laughing at me because I'd forgotten my lyrics.
Yeah.
But then when I really thought about it, they were probably laughing, from oh my gosh, she's forgotten her lyrics and look how cute she is. And, she's getting upset about it and doing it from how parents would be. Whereas I'd taken it the fact that they were judging me, and I carried that through my entire life.
Yeah.
And it's such a powerful thing when you get to the bottom of it and understand why you've been fearful of doing many things in your life, isn't it?
Yeah. And, it's funny because I feel like so many people think that like healing work is just for people who've experienced like horrible trauma or something really, really bad in their lives. And that's just not true at all. I mean, obviously, if there's horrible trauma that you've experienced, there's a lot of healing work to be done, but everyone has something to heal,
Yeah.
and and if there is a result in your life that you want that you're not getting, there is a subconscious limiting belief blocking you from calling that in. So I think it's really important for people to understand that, everyone has something they need to heal. And your story is kind of a perfect example because we've all been through stuff like that. And as a child, as an adult, you can look back and it's like funny, but as a child, that is traumatic. And trauma doesn't just have to be like this big crazy thing. It's about how you experienced something. And it's about experiencing something that you aren't quite sure how to handle. And the idea of it and the emotions of it were so overwhelming to you that you kind of shut down and you didn't fully process it. And then you're kind of like carrying it around with you, and it's affecting the way that you are interacting with your life, which is, what you experience. So I think that's really important for people to understand.
Yeah. So how do people kind of identify something that's a limiting belief? Is there like some telltale signs of that?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things. So the one thing, like pretty much what I just said was about, you can tell where you have limiting beliefs by if the results that you're not seeing. So again, like say you're wanting to call in more money, right? And you started your own business and you've been successful in so many ways, but maybe you're only able to hit a certain threshold, right? Like say, you are making a certain amount of money and you have a goal to make even more, but for whatever reason, you're kind of stuck at this like glass ceiling in a sense, and you're wanting to make more and that's not coming through. That's a telltale sign that you need to go back and look at like, well, why, what am I holding in my subconscious that makes me think that this is all I can achieve? And maybe you go back and you realize, oh, that's only as much money as my parents ever made. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're holding in your mind that like, this is the only amount of money that people make because that's what you watched growing up. So that is one way, like just looking at the results that you're getting, right? The other way is through breath work. Because what happens when you begin to do breath work, well, there's a few things that happen, but one of them is you're getting energy moving in the body, right? And these old traumas are stuck energy, like you were just talking about with that thing that happened to you. When something happens to us that we can't fully process, it lives energetically in the body, kind of waiting for you to fully feel it so it can dissipate and integrate. So when you start breathing, this stuck energy starts to move. And these unconscious beliefs, thoughts, or feelings, they start to rise into the conscious awareness so you can see them and feel them and integrate them. So what ends up happening in a breathwork session is these subconscious beliefs come into your conscious awareness. And you might all of a sudden realize, oh, I've been doing this for years and years and years because of this reason, and you all of a sudden kind of have these new awarenesses about the patterns that you've been creating over and over and over again based on, what you saw in the past. So that's why breath work is so powerful, is because it allows you to gain those awarenesses so then you can start to make a new decision and create a new story for yourself, not live based on what happened in the past.
Yeah, that's so powerful. So I'm guessing that obviously we all want things to kind of happen straight away, but I'm guessing that this is something, once you've identified that limiting belief, you've got to constantly work on it, doing the breath work to kind of work through it, rather than, you're not going to see the results straight away.
Yeah, I mean, and it depends. Like sometimes people do things can happen quickly. I'm not going to say they always do. And it really depends on the magnitude of what it is, right? Like, say it's around your relationship with your mother. Well, that's always a huge one for everyone. So that's always going to be something that you're constantly like peeling back the layers of the onion and healing on different levels, right? But if it's something like that you wanted to create, like, you know, something smaller, even if it's around money or creating a business, those things can kind of happen more quickly once you can really unlock or uncover what the thought is that's holding you back, or what the belief is that's holding you back. So no, it's never just like, oh, boom, okay, now like I did one breathwork session and now I'm totally healed. But depending on the magnitude of what the issue is, things can change quickly, but having said that, it still is always an ongoing process.
Yeah. Hey there, beautiful lady. I'm interrupting this episode because I've got a question for you. Are you ready to figure out your personal style once and for all and have a bigger impact on your potential clients so that you can make more money? If the answer is yes, then you really want to check out my free ultimate guide to unlocking your personal style. In this guide, I share with you 8 steps that you can implement into your wardrobe today so that you can have more impact with your potential clients. So if you're interested in getting this, make sure you check out my show notes for this episode where you'll find the link to grab your copy. Now let's go back to the episode. So Matt, I want to know, how did you actually find out about this tool, breathwork? Because it is a very unusual thing to hear somebody specialize in.
Right. So I actually discovered breathwork almost 20 years ago when I was 19. And I was in college and I was working at a yoga studio. And I was not really in a great place in my life. I don't know who is at that point. You're kind of trying to figure out who you are and everything. But I was struggling. I had a lot of anxiety. I was struggling with an eating disorder. And I was really just looking for another perspective on life. And I wanted to know more. Like, I didn't think that, okay, I'm just going to like go to college and like get a job. Like, to me, that was just like, seems so uninteresting. And I just wanted to know more about the world. I wanted to understand more about myself and why I wasn't happy. And I was working at the yoga studio and I was reading all different books about all different types of healing and, being a vegetarian and Ayurveda and all these things. And they had a breathwork class at the yoga studio one night and I went, and it's funny, I don't even remember anything profound happening at that time, but I just was very drawn to the work. And there's a really amazing community here in Philadelphia, breathwork community, that provides trainings and workshops and just a really beautiful community. And I got involved with them and I literally did like 4 breathworker trainings in a row. And I became very involved in the community and started teaching breathwork, teaching group classes, having private clients. And I was still very young, like 21, 22. And then, kind of lived my life. I moved across the country for a little while, came back, and I was always teaching breathwork here and there. I also became a school counselor, got my master's in school counseling. And then in the last year or so, I kind of realized that I'm a healer and I need to be sharing my gifts with the world. So I fully like launched my business in January. And also in the past year, I really started to understand my psychic abilities in a new way and incorporate them into my work. And I think I always knew that I had a psychic gift, but I didn't like talk about it and I didn't know exactly how to use it. And then I actually took a class, which was amazing, that helps you kind of understand how to use your psychic abilities. And that really helped me like take agency over what I was able to do and really start to make the healing work that I do like my own thing. So it's not necessarily just breath work. It's not necessarily just like being a psychic. It's just this way that I am able to help people, which is I do breath work, and then I also tap into their energy while they're breathing. And like I receive messages about what they need to do to help them heal, or what I see them doing in the future, or even like loved ones that are around them that have passed. Like I see them in their sessions and I can get messages for them like while they're breathing. So it's it's just this thing that I do that's it's not just breath work, but breath work is kind of like the foundation of it.
Yeah, this really powerful. I'm so engrossed with what you're talking about. It's really interesting. So in terms of like when you're working with your clients, is there a particular like format or a system that you use in order to that you've developed?
So what we usually do is when I'm working one-on-one with clients, I will just talk to them. And when I'm talking to them, that's when I'm really able to start tapping into their energy, is like when I hear them talking, that's when I can kind of tap in and see like where they're stuck, or just kind of understanding them energetically. It's hard to explain, but I just kind of like tap into their energy and we talk, and then I'll have them breathe. And then while they're breathing, I just kind of like watch them and I like tap into their energy, and then I write. So like I'll write stuff down that comes through, and it can be a whole slew of things, like just around what I'm seeing or what they should focus on next. Or like I said, sometimes I'll tap into like their guides or the light beings around them, or like with my one client the other day, his nanny who passed away like came through and was like talking to me.
Oh, so amazing.
Yeah, so it's and then that's really it. And then once they stop breathing, we talk for a little bit. I usually have my clients breathe around like 40 minutes. Yeah, and then I'll usually provide things for them to do in between sessions, like guided meditations and different kinds of journaling exercises, just to help the healing process.
Yeah, to unlock any things that might come through further. Yeah. Yeah.
Going. Yeah.
Amazing. That sounds so cool what you do.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. I bet it's amazing to watch like the transformation that happens in front of you as well. Like you're like witnessing it in, straight away, aren't you?
Cool. Yeah, it's just that's one of the biggest gifts for me, is just to be able to like watch people heal and change and create what they want.
Yeah. So have you got any like a tip that you can share with the listeners on how they can start like unlocking these limited beliefs, or something that they can start doing today that is going to help them get a little bit deeper in that connection in this with their self?
Yeah. So first of all, I think that meditation is vital in the healing process, and just in becoming more aware of yourself. So I would say to start there. And I know some people are like, oh my God, I can't do that. I can't meditate. And I always just try to help everyone make it easy for themselves. Usually guided meditations are easier for people. And I have a free one on my site, which I know we'll talk about later, and that's one option. And the other thing that I do that I always recommend that my clients do is, as soon as you wake up in the morning, don't even get out of bed. Don't do anything. Just turn on your guided meditation and just lay in bed and do it. And to me, that's the easiest way, because you're still kind of in this like state where you're not quite yet thinking about stuff, and you didn't even get out of bed yet. So you don't even have to start doing stuff. So to me, that's like the best time to meditate. And you can start out just short, even if it's just like a 10-minute thing. And if you don't want to do a guided meditation, the other thing you can do is just like set your timer on your phone for like 5 minutes even, and just sit quietly. And even doing that once you start doing it for, you know, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you will see a difference, because it's just about connecting with yourself and just getting into a space where you're being present with yourself and just seeing what's there, you know, because I think so many times we're kind of avoiding feeling what we're feeling, or if something is uncomfortable for us, we just want to like do something else to distract ourselves from it. And what happens is all of those things like compile, and that's when we start to feel anxiety, or we feel uncomfortable, or, you know, whatever it is. It's because we're not giving ourselves the space to really connect and feel what's actually going on within ourselves. So to me, meditation is the first step in understanding those limiting beliefs and just starting to connect with yourself. But really the other thing that's so easy is, like I said, look at the results that you're getting. If there's something you're wanting that's not showing up, you have a limiting belief blocking you. And that's a great way to be able to tell.
Yeah, that's amazing advice, because I love the part where you said just, you know, as soon as you wake up, just get your phone and put that guided meditation on, because often like we automatically just reach for our phone and then start scrolling through emails and social media. But it's so true what you say, when you're in that state of you know, I don't even know what they call that. That state, the half awake stage. You like the things that you're putting in your brain is kind of setting you up for your day.
The whole day, exactly. Yeah. So that's such a great time, because you're kind of like setting the tone for your day, and it kind of just it puts you in a good headspace, and it starts out by connecting you with yourself, which is the most important thing. Because I think the thing that I see the most with my clients is them not trusting themselves. Because I think we're trained, like as a society, to always look for answers outside of ourselves, and not thinking that we don't know, and we have to like ask the experts or something. Like if you're sick, you ask the doctor. If you don't know what to do, you ask a friend, or you ask your mom, or whatever it is. And the only person who truly knows what to do is you. And everyone else's opinion a lot of times just kind of clouds that. But we're so used to, like, when we don't know what to do, oh my God, I'm going to go like tell every friend about all my problems. And like, that literally just makes you even more confused, because you've got 5 different opinions. Perspectives. And you're like, oh my God, I still don't know what to do. But really you do, if you just connect with yourself.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a woman thing as well. I think as women, we don't trust our inner self and our inner voice. You know, we usually trust that inner voice that's usually talking nasty words to ourselves. We don't actually trust that good voice inside of us.
Yeah, and it takes practice too. And meditation is a great way just to begin to listen to that voice within you.
Yeah. So how can the ladies that are listening to this connect with you?
So the best way is probably through my website, which is alysebreathes.com. And then also I have a free Facebook group, which is great because I provide resources. When you join my group, there's a free guided meditation, the one that's also on my site, and then also a free 15-minute breathwork session. So my Facebook group is called Breathe to Succeed. And I sent you the link for that. So that's a great way to stay connected with me. I also do like live oracle card readings in the group, and just a lot of fun stuff, interviews with people. So that's a great way to stay connected with me as well. And then of course on my Instagram, which is Alyse Breathes. And and through my website, which has all of my offerings and stuff like that.
Cool. And I know you've mentioned it a few times. So do you want to tell us a bit more about this freebie that you've got for the listeners?
Yeah, sure. So when you go to my site and sign up for my newsletter, you'll receive my free guided meditation, which is really powerful because I guide you to not only calm your mind, but use the breath to release stuck energy in different areas of the body, which is really nice because I just take you through your whole body and guide you to use your breath to relax and release each part of the body. So that's a really nice one to do. And you can do
Amazing.
that every morning when you wake up.
Amazing. That sounds so amazing. So ladies, you can go to the show notes to find the links for everything. And before we finish, I've got one question that I've been asking every guest that comes onto this show. So because I believe that we're on a journey in life, when we go on a journey in real life, we get into our car, we have a playlist that motivates us to get to our destination. So what is the song that's got you either to this stage or that's part of your journey that you're now ready to embark on?
So I think this was a really hard question because I feel like I could go so many different directions with this. But for me, like one of the biggest staples, and this is also from, being with my husband for 11 years, because he's a huge Grateful Dead fan and I've become a huge Grateful Dead fan. And one of the best songs that I feel like I can always relate to is Eyes of the World by the Grateful Dead, which is basically saying that you are the eyes of the world. Like your perspective is the world, and like there's no other reality outside of what you perceive, right? And that, like we all create our own reality. So, and that's really such a huge part of my message. So that's what I decided to go with.
Yeah, wow, that's such a
it's so good.
That sounds such a powerful song.
It is. It's a very powerful song.
Yeah. Cool. So ladies, if you want to check out Alyse's song, you can go to Spotify where you'll find the playlist, which again is in the show notes. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you coming on to this episode. I've been engrossed from start to finish. I could literally keep you here all day because I've enjoyed our conversation so much, and you've given us so much information that we can start implementing into our lives. So thank you for joining us. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
How amazing was that conversation? I was completely engrossed from start to finish, and I really enjoyed what Alyse has to say about waking up and just doing a meditation straight away before you even get out of bed. And I think that that's a really powerful tool that we can start implementing into our lives, because I know personally when I try to do a meditation, sometimes life gets in the way. I have great intentions to do my morning routine, but sometimes, like I say, life gets in the way and I end up forgetting to do my morning meditation. And I think that tip that she gave us to start doing it as soon as you wake up, put that guided meditation on and really start your day and set your day up as you mean to go on, is such a powerful tool that you can implement into your life. Like I say, I really enjoyed that conversation, and if you want to go check out Alyse and her amazing freebie that she's got to give to you, then all you need to do is head over to the show notes that accompanies this show at www.girlbehindthelook.com/podcast, and you will find all the links and the link for the freebie. And if you head over to Spotify, you will be able to listen to the soundtrack that accompanies this podcast. So that's it for this episode today. I can't wait to speak to you next week when it will be my style episode. And I want to hear what you've got to say. I want to hear your comments. What's your biggest takeaway from this conversation that you've listened to today? And head over to iTunes, leave a review, leave a rating, and if you screenshot it and tag me in it at Instagram at Girl Behind the Look and at the Stylish CEO podcast, then I could be reading out your review and giving your business a shout out in the next episode of the Stylish CEO. So for now, beautiful lady, take care, and I will speak to you next week. Bye for now. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Stylish CEO. If you loved this episode as much as I did, head over and rate and subscribe so you never miss another episode. New episodes drop each week on a Tuesday, so you don't want to miss out. I would love to hear more from you on what you thought about this episode and the topics that you want to hear. I also want to shout about you and your business, so each week I will be choosing someone who leaves a review or comment to share with the Stylish CEO audience. Check out the show notes at girlbehindthelook.com/podcast for more information. I can't wait to hang out with you again soon. Until next time, beautiful lady, this is Laura Jane signing off.